Good evening, everyone. Oh, 118 minutes to go. You're a little bit early there, Samantha, Lori, Purple, Lemon Pie. Good evening. Inner Peas. Good evening, Lemon Inner Peas, Lemon Pie again. Hope we all had a wonderful weekend. Tammy Hall. Good evening, Tammy. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Callie Lisa is ready. All right. Welcome, Callie Lisa. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm glad you could join us tonight. Going to give it about 3 more minutes here and then we'll get this started. Hopefully, everything, cross our fingers, works out the way it should. I'm still getting used to it. They changed the way that the streaming software it's displayed. It still works the same. It's things have moved around and they, the different icons and how it's laid out on the screen, from what I can see on my end. But hopefully it works out. If not, I can always switch back to the other one. I'm just trying to force myself to, you know, um, get used to what it's going to look like because they are going to end the old version and start with the new version. I think this is like 24.9-12, something like that. The newest, hottest version. Lori Sutton, hello. Welcome. Sasha, hello, Will and everyone. Hello, Sasha, and welcome to tonight's trivia. All the trivia questions tonight are about Fred and Rosemary West, serial killers from the UK. 2 more minutes. And then we'll get this party started. I hope everybody had a great weekend now. It's hot as hell here. It is 93 degrees right now where I am. Sunny, not a cloud in the sky. Janice, good evening. Scary Nona. Good evening, Scary Nona. Welcome to tonight's trivia night. Anita Butts. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Anita. Amelia. Good evening. 2 thumbs up for you, Amelia. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Glad you could join us tonight. Miss K. Hi, Will, and beautiful chat. Hello, Miss K. Did you have a wonderful weekend? I hope you did. Rosemary and not the kind of to put on chicken. Dun, dun, dun. 30 more seconds. Watching the Lurkers Lounge today. Have chores to do. Hope you are all doing well. I'm doing terrific, Amelia. Thank you. Her Rosemary made close friends with Miranda Hindley. I don't know. She might have. Fred didn't make any friends. Fred also, well, he took himself out of the picture. All right. Now, first I need to get rid of part of this, what's on the screen here. Hide that part. All right, and go to this. There you go. You should see the screen now says The Faces of Pure Evil, Fred and Rosemary. Warning, viewer discretion is strongly advised. Viewer discretion is advised. If you don't want to hear the graphic details or questions about the serial killers, this is probably not the stream for you to be watching. All right. Get the chat back up there. And here we go. First question, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be up on screen just a second here. Rupal. Good evening, Rupal. Hey, I made it. You did. I hope you're doing well, Rupal. All right. First question. What did Rosemary West do for extra income while the two of them were active in their killing spree and torture? This is the YouTube community question of the week. I post one early from the list every week to the YouTube community tab. Was she A dog walker, B, a sex worker, C, she cleaned houses, or D, she was a nanny? Which one of those did she do for extra income while the two of them were actively killing and torturing people? Sorry, I have a break from stiff. So on to the boozy. Wrangling mountain lions. Good one, Tammy. She baked lemon pies. Oh. Sex walker. Good one, lemon pie. Sex walker. Jay Hughes. Welcome, Jay Hughes. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for joining us tonight. What did Rosemary West do for extra income while they were actively killing and torturing people? It's been forever. It has been a while, but I hope you've been doing well. Oh, I just saw that. You capitalized the H, the G, and the S for hugs. That's HGS. Like it looks like it's, to me, when you look at it really closely, it looks like you capitalize the letters for hugs. But obviously you'd need to capitalize the U for hugs. But all right, the first question, the correct answer is B as in boy, sex worker. She worked as a prostitute, and while she was prostituting, Fred was her pimp. And he often stayed close enough nearby to watch her and what she was doing. And then they would role play the same things out at home. Yeah, I bet you wanted to know that about Fred and Rosemary, didn't you? All right, question 2. Early part of April 1972, Fred and Rosemary were on their way to church when they seen a young lady hitchhiking. What did Fred and Rosemary decide to do? Was it A, offer her a ride and a job as a nanny? B, offer her a ride and kill her? C, knock her out and steal her purse? Or D, report her to the police? I'm not familiar with this case, but I'll listen. All right, Sasha, well, you might learn something. RuPaul, A or C? A says Tammy. RuPaul, I'm not familiar. Not familiar with Fred and Rosemary West. Well, that's all right. Role play with her. E, role play. Scatty Nolan is going with A. And it also should be noted 1973 is when they both stopped attending church. This was the year prior. Year prior to them, they were still attending services at a local church in their area. B makes sense. Offer her a ride and kill her. E, teach her to hotwire Yugos. to let you know, there isn't anything that is difficult with a Yugo to actually start it. There are three bolt and nuts on the back of a Yugo starter, and all you got to do is take a screwdriver and touch the back of the two, and it will start the car. Now you can't unlock the steering wheel, but you can get the car to start. You'd have to smash the steering wheel lock. My friend had a Yugo, and to say that thing broke down a lot when she had it, it broke down a lot. They're very cheap cars, but they're even brand new. They were super cheap. Yugo, kind of like the old the ignition on the back of it, the posts are kind of like the really similar to like a Ford, and I think Dodge too had used to have coil in the engine compartment. You could do that with disposable cars. Yeah, they were pretty disposable, all right. There wasn't a lot of creature features in it. I mean, hers had an AM FM radio, but this was in the 1980s when she had hers. I think it was like 85 or 86, somewhere in there. My dad taught me to disable a car by using a washer squeegee on the battery terminal. Poof, LOL. I did that by mistake. I was working on my friend's Saab. I crossed the terminals with a wrench, and I was holding it. All right. Question 2. The correct answer is A as in apple. They offered her a job as a nanny, taking care of their kids and cleaning up around the house. But that's not exactly what transpired. Initially, it did, and she was a nanny for the children. And she did some house cleaning and other duties around the place for room and board. But that only lasted a little while, and then they started torturing her, and they would eventually end up killing her. It was better than my Pinto. Pintos, those are making a comeback. There's a lot of people out there that are actually looking for Pintos. I saw that on a forum not too long ago. A lot of people are picking them up because they're fuel economical. I mean, you didn't want to run into the back of have somebody run into the back of your Pinto, but people are looking for them now. Park on insulin, don't need a starter motor if it's on incline. Yeah, you can pop if it has a stick. And a lot of the Yugos were manual transmissions, not automatics. Okay, question 3. The West got away with their crimes for so long because the victims feared them, feared the police wouldn't believe them. Why was Fred never charged with the assault rape of Caroline Owens, instead charged with a far less? Was it A, Caroline dropped the charges? B, Caroline wasn't believed by the police? C, Caroline ran away? Or D, Caroline refused to press charges fully? At least I finally figured out church attendance didn't exactly mesh with your lifestyle. Religion is not for everyone. And you can still be have faith. It doesn't, and not attend church. But it's not for everyone. Why was Fred never charged with the assault rape of Caroline Owens? Who, by the way, has changed her name. She no longer goes by the name of Caroline Owens. E, the police just kept asking her, "Sweet Caroline, dun, dun, dun," was her favorite song. That's good, 11.5. Caroline got her own TV show, Caroline in the City. Meet Caroline. Why was Fred never charged with assault and rape of Caroline Owens? Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer to question 3 is D as in dog. Caroline Owens refused to press charges fully. She feared what Fred and Rosemary were going to do to her if she continued to press the charges. So she wouldn't fully press the charges and go through the entire ordeal with court and everything else. So they dropped the charges altogether, and then eventually charged Fred West only with, I think it was a kidnapping or something like that, and then he took some kind of an agreement to probation on the entire thing. But they didn't charge him ever or convict him of the assault, rape, of Caroline Owens. All right, question 4. Boom. Her sister moved out of the home to escape the abuse. Heather West had no place to hide, and all the abuse was turned on her next. What ended up happening to Heather West? Was it A, they sent her away to a boarding school? B, they sold her as a sex slave? C, they kicked her to death. That should be death, not hell. They kicked her to death is what that should say. D, they abused her until they were caught. Whoa, Lisa. Welcome to today's trivia. Whoa, Lisa. I hope you've been doing well. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are the 4th week of 5 weeks. Looking forward to Guilty next week. Read the email you 2 months ago. Oh, okay. We are in the 4th week. Well, almost there. She went to live with her Aunt Mae West. Dun-dun-dun. Mae West. From the Westerns. Keep you posted. All right, Jay Hughes, I hope you have my email still. Email me. What ended up happening to Heather West? Question number 4. What happened to Heather West? CCE became Batman's Adam West. D. CDC. And 3, 2, 1. The correct answer to question 4 is C as in cat. They kicked her to death. When her body was discovered, she had multiple fractures to orbital socket, the head, and there was compound fractures to the upper chest, rib bones. She was kicked to death, stomped, most likely by Rosemary or Fred, or both. They don't know for sure because neither one of them would confess to it. But the story was Rosemary, tried to convince Fred that she was going to send off Heather to live with relatives. Fred didn't want to believe it, and that was the story that they originally gave. But that was the police never believed that they were ever had any intention to send her off to live with other relatives. But anyway, question 5. None of the West children were safe from the abuse. No one was safe from this couple. Which one below is how they abused Stephen West, Fred's son? Was it A, burning him with a lighter? B, kicking him over and over again? C, sexually? D, mental abuse? This question was used originally on a trivia night in 2023, and is you can be by Mitzan. I think that's how you pronounce it, Mitzan. You can find that trivia night on Reddit, at least a link to it. I think they have a private streaming service that they post their and do the trivia on. But they require people log in to play. Jersey Shore reruns. all the above. Which one below is how they abused Stephen West, Fred's son? This is a 5 out of 10 on the difficulty scale. The scale goes from 0 to 10. With 10 being the most difficult. King Trivia is where most of the questions, have been asked in pub-style games, and they tabulate up and give a score to each and every question based on how many people log in playing the game in pubs around the United States, Canada, and UK correctly. You can log online and play along with those who are playing in the pubs, or you can go to a pub and actually take part in these trivia things. Do Joanne Vandersloot? Vandersloot? I'll write it down on my list. Thank you for the suggestion, Tammy. Vandersloot. Amy M., welcome to tonight's trivia. I'm glad you could join us tonight. I hope you had a wonderful week. Which one? Question 5. We are looking for which way did they actually abuse Stephen West, Fred's son? Question number 5. Cannabis worldwide at 4 now. E. They didn't send him to his cousin Jacqueline in Trezell. Oh. 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 I feel so sorry for those two little boys. Never should have happened. I still can't, I can still picture the two of them doing their press conference saying they don't know what happened to the boys, that they just wandered out of the yard or something. All that for what? And all that time they were dead anyways. Stephen West did a documentary. He is gorgeous. Is he? I haven't seen that. Which one did they use to abuse Stephen West? The correct answer is D as in dog. Mental abuse. They never burned him with a lighter and they never sexually abused him, but they certainly did mentally screw him up. And I'm glad he's surviving to out there. He did a documentary about it, but they did some horrific mental abuse to him. It always surprises me that how else people can come back from and survive, because being dealt a hand like Stephen did, and having parents like Fred and Rosemary, terrible. A game about people who were murdered sick. Games about people who were murdered. Lisa Crazed. I'm sorry, Lisa Crazed. Are you talking about the trivia night about the serial killers? Sorry if I'm offending you in any way at all. All right, next question. Question 6. What was the #1 hallmark of almost every person Fred West murdered? Hallmark meaning a forensic sign he killed that person. Was it A, burn marks on nipples or breasts? B, boot marks on face? C, toes and fingers removed? Or D, objects inserted in body? Goes hand in hand. Brits call porn blue movies. Huh. Old blue movies. We're looking for the hallmark, the forensic sign that Fred West was the actual murderer of the individual. D, C, D, yuck. Guessing C, says Tammy. Amy M is going with D. And welcome, Amy M, if I didn't say so earlier. I hope you had a wonderful week. Thank you for joining us tonight. Fred looks like he needs to collect trophies of his kills. I don't know if they kept trophies per se about, with each person they killed. They did collect items from and keep items from certain people. but I don't know if they were necessarily trophies or just mementos of it. Might have been trophies. Don't know. Will, I'm trying to ask you a question about the Duggars in a series about the IBLP. Okay, Amy, what's the question? Did you post it here? Let me scroll up. Sorry if I missed it. Ride card? Just joining in. I had to drive today. I'm glad you're safe, Ride card, and thank you for joining us tonight. Hope you had a wonderful week. The IBLP, the church. I'm going with A because purple chose A. Well, I'm trying to see if you will watch the series about the cult that in the Duggar family. I've read an awful lot about the Duggar family and their connection to the what they call it the Christian fundamentalism of the Duggars. I've read an awful lot about it, and to tell you the truth, it's nothing new. When it comes to a family that has gotten caught up, in something like the Christian fundamentalist movement, there's been a lot of crimes, and terrible people, who hide behind religion in groups like that. With the Duggars Church, I mean, there's got to be a disproportionate amount of sexual predators who have hidden inside their actual church, going all the way back to their, Bill, was it Bill Gothard, the one of the founding members, the state police officer who investigated Josh's abuse of his sisters and the family friend, who's doing federal time right now for child pornography as well. Then there was the pastor who, James, I want to say Current, but I don't think Current is his last name. No, something like that. But he was also convicted of molesting 10 different girls. I mean, that's just in their small little church. A is horrible, so I'm going with it. On Paramount, the Doo-Doo Diggers. They do it all in the name of God. Yeah. They're a few beans short of a damn burrito. This series is like a true crime story about Gothard. And that's William Gothard. He was one of the founding members of their church. I had no idea the name of the church, IBMLP. Doesn't it seem like the worst of the worst and everyone? Yeah. Well, think about the Christian fundamentalist movement. That's one group. Then there's the Mormon side of it, where it was the Mormon fundamentalist movement. They had, where you had a lot of other people, everything from polygamy to, child sex slaves, all kinds of things that went on in that movement. But is it on Netflix? Did somebody say it was on Netflix? I mean, I'll check it out. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I'll look into it, see if it's something that might be interesting to me. All right, question number 6. The correct answer is C as in cat. Fred West loved to remove the fingers and toes of his victims. He thought that that would slow them down from being able to identify the body once they found it. He would dig shallow graves and then remove the actual fingers and toes of the individual. That was one of Fred West's hallmarks. Removing so they couldn't get prints off of the individual. Yeah. Started off wrong, like usual. Amazon Prime. All right, question 7. Now, got plenty of questions left, Reichart. These are some really dark and depressing questions, but it's all viewer suggested. So on a lighter side, what was Fred West's favorite TV show and or play? Was it A, Just a Boy's Game, B, Blue Remembered Hills, C, Willie Ruff, or Z for Zachariah? Which one was Fred West's favorite TV show or play? And this question was used by Murder Incorporated in 2022 on Reddit and YouTube. What was Fred West's favorite TV show? And ladies and gentlemen, I've never heard of any of these until I was putting these questions together, and I actually had to look some of these up. Z for Zachariah sounds like an interesting book, or at least the original, was the book. I'm going to have to look into seeing if I can get a copy of that and read it. Looks interesting to me. Damned if I know. D, E, Lawrence Welk, Tiny Bubbles, and a 1, and a 2, and a 1. Wild Wild West, giddy up. Going with C due to the word rough in it. Question number 7. E. H is for hangman. And that's how Fred ended up taking himself out. He hung himself. These are some really dark and depressing questions, but it's all viewer suggested. So on a lighter side, what was Fred West's favorite TV show and or play? Reichart's going with A, purple, C, E, H for hangman. Going with C, says Janet. Was the word rough. C. All right. Question number 7. The correct answer is A as in apple. Just a Boy's Game was a television show that aired on the BBC and was also made into a mini series for one of the BBC channels. But it also has been done on stage and in theaters, but he really enjoyed Just a Boy's Game. Now, you can Google that if you want to look it up, but I mean, it sounds like interesting. I don't know why he enjoyed it so much, but that was it, his favorite one. 8 is enough. I used to watch that when I was a kid. 8 is enough. I like that show. They don't make television like that anymore. All right, question 8. If you're watching this in rewind, skip this question. It's disturbing. What was the punishment Rosemary West subjected the girls to if they didn't do the dishes right? Was it A, physical abuse, B, having to be sexually assaulted by their father, C, a whipping, or D, forced to work as a streetwalker, i.e., prostitute? What was the punishment Rosemary West subjected the girls to if they didn't do the dishes right? So, so sad. Adam Rich died. Who played the youngest kid? What was his name? Nicholas? Wasn't it Nicholas? Wasn't he the youngest one on Eight Is Enough? Binge watching the Jersey Shore. I never even heard of the Jersey Shore until what was his name? The Situation, Joey the Situation, or whatever his real name is, got into legal trouble, and then I'm like, what the hell's the Jersey Shore? I didn't even know that it was a thing. Him and his little bowl cut. My BFF is Elizabeth on Eight Isn't Enough. Huh. That's cool. Nicholas. D, just guessing, says Rye Cart. 5 seconds left. Mike, the Situation Sarantino. All right, question 8. The correct answer is A as in apple, physical abuse. First, it started off with a slap or a punch to the face or some type of physical assault from Rosemary directly towards the girl, at the girl, hitting the girl. So, if they didn't do the dishes right, and it never stopped there. It could have been a whole lot more. So they always made sure they did the dishes, not just wash them and dry them, but they had to do it in a certain way, and it had to be done her way and her way only. They're not very nice people, ladies and gentlemen. Not very nice. Snooky lives 2 towns over from you. Oh, really? Wouldn't know who Snooky was either. If it wasn't, I wouldn't know who any of those people were. That's just not my kind of television to watch. If I was to watch anything, Rosemary looks like a man. She's one mean SOB. All right, question 9. On a cold and rainy, windy night, somewhere near 1 a.m. in the morning, Stephen West was woken up by Rosemary with a hard slap across his face while holding a shovel. What did they make him do? Was it A, dig a hole in the garden to bury Heather? B, dig a hole in the basement for himself? C, dig a hole on a vacant lot? Or D, dig a hole in the garden for a hooker? What did they make him do? Dig the hole for? E, dig a hole to China. Big Juicy, too. Amy, I don't know. Janet's going with A. A, E. I don't know. A and D. 1 a.m. on a rainy, windy night. They woke Stephen up with a slap across the face while she was holding a shovel. That's a hell of a way to wake up. And good evening, JDR. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a wonderful week and weekend. Glad you could join us tonight. Let's see. We got A from JDR. A from Tammy. I wonder if Joshy Duggar has calluses on his knees yet. Oh, Tammy. I don't know. He probably does. You know, and speaking of Josh Duggar, side note, and give you guys a little bit extra time to check on, to think about this question. But when it comes to the cell phone, the report from Seagoville Federal Penitentiary does not say how he got the actual cell phone, just that he got caught with it. He had hidden it on his person somewhere, and when he got back to the housing unit, he dropped the cell phone. So he probably put it in his butt cheeks. Now, was he forced to do that for somebody else? Or did somebody who was visiting him that day bring the cell phone and then he hid it on his person? We don't know. It doesn't say in the report, but if I had to guess, I would most likely put it that he was given the cell phone by another inmate and told to hide it and bring it back to the housing unit. Because I don't think he's getting along all that well, even there with other sex offenders. He can butt dial. If you keep yelling like that, we will hear you all the way up here in Canada. I'm sorry, JDR. We will. Side note, Josh, do we know who his visitors are or calls from? Yes, I do. Okay, the people that are visiting Josh Duggar, I covered this in the Saturday morning coffee brew, the live show that I do every Saturday morning. His visitors are the following: his mom, his dad, his wife Anna, their kids. Now she can only bring 2 kids at a time, so she rotates which kids she brings, his attorney, and then there are 2 additional people who are listed only on the visitor's log as religious person number 1 and religious person number 2. Seagoville Federal Penitentiary does not list the name of the individual who has to be pre-approved. Everybody who goes to visit anybody at the federal prison has to be pre-approved, but they do not require religious leaders, pastors, ministers, whatever the religion might be. If you're there to give faith-based counseling with an inmate, they do not require that their name be listed on the visitor log. They know who they are because they're approved by that number associated to just that individual. But those are the only people who have come and visited him. To his phone calls, he only has 5 people that are approved to him for him to actually call, and there's only 1 person besides his attorney that he is allowed to have video conferencing with. His attorney and Anna with the children via the what's called the JPay Connect system. That's the video conferencing with a tablet. He has to check the tablet out and then check the tablet back in after the visit. And just like telephone, he has to buy so much time in order to be able to use it. Excuse me. But his attorney and his Anna is the only 2 people he can video conference with. If he wants a video conference with mom and dad, they have to be at Anna's home to actually be able to be on the video conferencing. But the 5 people that are on the approved list would be mom, dad, wife, and his attorney, and then the religious. The 1 person he is listed as, again, is religious person number 1, who is listed as his faith-based counselor. I hope that answers your question. Thanks, Will. I missed Saturday. Clergy are never questioned. No, But they do have to. Anybody who comes and visits an inmate at Seagoville Federal Penitentiary must be approved. If you have a felony conviction, you can be barred from visiting. So if your wife, say if you're the inmate and your wife, wants to come visit you and she has a felony on her record, they can bar her from visiting you unless she goes to court and gets approved through the court system then. But otherwise, they stop felons from coming to visit anyone who is in prison. Okay, question 9. The correct answer is A as in apple. Dig a hole in the garden to bury his sister Heather. Heather West was buried in the garden of the home. And they woke him up at 1 o'clock in the morning on a windy, rainy night to dig the hole for his sister. Again, more psychological abuse. Why am I digging a grave in the garden? It's to bury his own sister. All right, question 10. More people have vanished without a trace who were connected to Fred and Rosemary that have never been found. What happened to Fred West's firstborn child, Carmine? Was it A, she was found with relatives living in Scotland? B, murdered, discovered in a plastic bag? C, sold to a childless couple in London? Or D, no one knows what happened to her? This question has appeared several times on Ranker in 2022 and in 2023 as of June. What happened to Fred West's firstborn child? This was not Rosemary's child. This was from Fred West's first marriage, not the first child that the two of them had together, the first child that Fred had with his first wife. In case you're wondering, on a side note, how many people have vanished without a trace that were never discovered? There is a total of 11 other people who have vanished who are connected to Fred and Rosemary West that they've never found. Rackart is going with C. Jay Hughes is going with D. Ooh, inner piece E. Eaten by a mountain lion. Those pesky mountain lions. Guessing. Purple is going with C as well. What happened to Carmine? Charmine. Jermaine. Schmoon. Jermaine Tomazo. Haasland Incorporated. Now I got the Laverne and Shirley theme song running through my head. Has nothing to do with this. But that's what's running through my head right now. The theme song to Laverne and Shirley. JDR is going with B. Discovered in a plastic bag. I'm going to start answering what Reichardt answers. Knowing the UK, she will be paroled in the next 5 years. Oh, Rosemary? Is she even alive? I think she is. But I don't think she's ever getting out. No. Miss K says it's B. Make all your mountain lion dreams come true. We're gonna do it. It was a bobcat. It says JER. It was a bobcat. It wasn't a mountain lion. It was a bobcat this time. Mountain lions are never getting any love this time. Come on. It was a bobcat. What happened to Fred West's firstborn child? 20 seconds. Seven, six, five, four, three, two, one. The correct answer to question 10 is B as in boy, murdered and discovered in a plastic bag, dumped into an empty vacant lot in 1994. B as in boy, murdered and discovered in a plastic bag. There's an awesome series on AMC Plus called Slasher Ripper. It's fascinating. I have to watch. I'll have to check that out. Slasher. I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget it. Slasher Ripper. AMC Plus. All right. All right. Question 11. Of all the victims of Fred and Rosemary together, or before they met, how many of their victims were pregnant at the time of their deaths, murders? How many were pregnant women? Was it A, 5, B, 1, C, 4, or D, 2? Question 11. It was Rosemary. On the way back from visiting Fred, she killed her. Rockcar, this is heavy stuff. Needing more dumb answers. Jesus, nobody needs baptism like that. Slash from Guns N' Roses. Rockcar, did you say that you picked up lumber the other day? You said you went past where I live on IE2, and you went to go pick up lumber. Did you say you went to Packwood to pick up lumber? $144,001. D, 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 C, and D. How many women were pregnant that they killed together or before they met? No, Aberdeen. Oh, okay. For some reason, I was thinking about Packwood the other day. In that area, I used to go to a swap meet in Packwood. I used to go every year. Auto, for car parts and stuff like that, and collectibles. Automobile memorabilia, and stuff like that, like signs. A lot of people, but Packwood. They used to have one in Packwood. I don't know if they still have it anymore there. They probably do, though. I drive through there once a year on the way to Chehalis, and then I'm coming back from Chehalis. I drive through there. I'll be going that way again in August. I found some imported limoncello for later. Yummy. I delivered in Ellensburg and then headed to pick up Lover in Aberdeen. Ah, okay. All right. Question 11. The correct answer is B as in boy. The only woman that they ever murdered that was pregnant was Annie McFall, Fred West's teenage girlfriend. He was having an affair with her when he was married to his first wife, Renina Costello. And she wanted him to leave his wife, and he murdered her and then buried her. Again, cutting off her fingers and her toes. But Annie McFall, Fred West's teenage girlfriend that he was having an affair with, won. All right, question 12. Fred and Rosemary West were charged with the murders of 12 women. However, that doesn't count their baby or those that vanished to never be found. The 11 that I was telling you about earlier. What does Scotland Yard believe the real body murder number count is? Is it A, 20, B, 30, C, 40, or D, 50? What does Scotland Yard believe their real murder total is? Shiny Happy People, the Duggar Secrets. I think of Shiny Happy People, I think of the band REM. Shiny Happy People. I'm jetting, Catalisa. B, B, C, B, B. Jan is going with B, guessing B. Question number 12. What does Scotland Yard believe their real murder count is? E, Alex again. I'm going with 144,000. What do they believe the murder count really is? So that we know that they were charged with the murder of 12 women. E, 3.14 pi. What does Scotland Yard think the murder count is? 15 seconds. LOL, I was thinking about REM with that song too. Not to forget about the B-52s. Yeah. 2 seconds, 1 second. The correct answer to question 12 is B as in boy. B as in boy. They believe the murder count is really closer to 30 or 30. B as in boy. Well, I was thinking about, there are still a bunch of peeps gone down as well. All right, question 13. What did Rosemary like to do as soon as Fred killed another victim? Before and after he dismembered the body, regardless if it was their child or a stranger. Was it A, lay naked next to the body or parts? B, brush the hair of the victim? C, poke it with her finger? or D, laugh at the victim poking fun at them? And I mean verbally, not physically on that one. What did she like to do? Per Stephen West, many are down in the well. What about Shirley Ripley? She was 8 months pregnant with the baby. Shirley Ripley? I do not know, but I will check on that, Miss K. That pen, there it is. Shirley Ripley. If the question's wrong, I will definitely, correct it, and I'll give you a shout out if it turns out that Shirley Ripley was, one of the victims that they left off or didn't count for some reason. It's happened before. Mistakes have happened. Shirley Ripley was the murder. All right, I wrote it down. We'll look into that after the stream. Thank you for pointing that out. I will definitely look at it. They all float. Can you repeat it, please? Meeps music. Welcome. What did Rosemary like to do as soon as Fred killed another victim? Before and after he dismembered the body? Was it A, well, regardless if it was their child or a stranger, was it A, lay naked next to the body or parts? B, brush the hair of the victim? C, poke it with her finger physically? Or D, laugh at the victim, poking fun at them verbally, not physically poking them? Oh, it's all right. Freddie's mama seriously jacked him up. Both of them were seriously sick in the head. Music is going with D, purple A. What did Rosemary like to do as soon as Fred killed another victim? I say A, says Sasha. Fred and Rosemary West, the faces of evil. Rosemary has a face that can stop a Mack truck. Yeah, I don't know how old this picture is of them, but those glasses to me say late 70s, early 80s, but obviously it had to be before they were caught. What did Rosemary like to do after Fred killed a victim? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is B as in boy. B as in boy. Brush the hair of the victim. Before and after he dismembered the body, she would brush the hair of the victim, regardless if it was a child or a total stranger that they just decided to kill. Sal. Meep. There's Meep's music. There's Meep and Meep Meep and Meep. Play Stairway to Heaven backwards for them. In her younger days, she looked way better. 666 says yes. Yeah, well, they both were pretty damn sick in the head. All right, going on to question 14. Don't for a second think that the killer was just Fred. Fred was a violent man, but he was an equal with Rosemary. They planned together, they killed together. How many victims did Rosemary handedly, it should be handedly, pick to be murdered? Was it A, 10 out of the 12 that they were charged with? We're looking at just the number that they were actually charged with those murders. Or B, 8 out of 12, C, 5 out of 12, or D, 11 out of 12? How many victims did Rosemary single-handedly pick to be murdered? B doesn't make sense if they took pictures of their victim after the fact. They wanted them to look nice for the photographs. Does make sense. Oh, I read that wrong. This kid, they look interchangeable. Amy's going with B. Jay Hughes is going with C. B. I think Janet's coming about the last one. And we have C for Catalisa. Meep is going with C. Rockhart's going with C. Eyes. Tammy's going with B. Question number 14. Don't forget, don't get ready to boogie on out of here. We have 15 questions, plus we have a bonus question every single week. Again, Alex, I'm going with E, the 144,000. It has to be phrased in the form of a question. What is 144,000, Alex? Lori Sutton is going with D. And they were equals when it came to who they decided to kill and when they decided to do it. It almost always, the two of them, from what the police say is, and the forensic information about the cases, they decided exactly when, where, and how. And Fred was the violent one, that's for sure. But Rosemary was violent as well. E, the angel Maury. Yeah. I'd like to buy a vowel. What is vowel? Vowel or vowel? Did they meet in a bar? I don't know how the Wests actually met. I don't know. I know how Fred met his first wife, but I don't know how he met Rosemary. Fred was supposed to be 50 when she met him. All right, question number 14. You got 20 seconds left. Macaroni. At the butcher shop. JDR is going with C. Question number 14. The correct answer is C, as in cat. 5 out of the 12. She single-handedly picked out to be murdered. The very first person that Rosemary supposedly picked out to be murdered was another streetwalker who she was in competition against, for patrons. John's was the very first person that she picked out that they killed together. And I don't know if that's entirely true. They may have picked out once before, but that's what at least the file says was the first one that she picked out. All right, question number 15. On a scale of 1 to 10, how well liked was Fred West in prison with 10 being the most liked and 1 being the least liked. Yes, it's a real number by guards and inmates. Was it A, 5 out of 10, B, 3 out of 10, C, 1 out of 10, or 8, D, 8 out of 10? How well liked was Fred West? Obviously, before he killed himself, he would probably have liked a lot more after he killed himself. Jude, welcome, Jude. Hi, welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a wonderful week. I'm glad you could join us. Old Freddie kept hookers in high heels. E, 4 out of 5 dentists surveyed. Little Pokey. Little Pokey's here. Hi, Little Pokey. I hope you had a wonderful week. We've only got one question left after this, but you can always watch it and rewind and test your knowledge, that way as well. Yeah, Fred had some pretty awful teeth. He definitely needed a dentist. Janice is going with C as well. Tammy's going with D, 8 out of 10. With 1 being the least and 10 being the highest, most liked by prisoners and guards. What was the actual number for how well liked Fred West was before he did himself away? Purple's going with B, 3 out of 10. At a bus stop when she was 15 years old. Is that how they met? Ooh. And he was, close to 50, right? I mean, when he was married to his first wife, Catherine Renee Costello. I mean, he had a mistress that was a teenager. Jude. Lori Sutton is going with B. All right, question number 15. The correct answer is C as in cat. He wasn't liked by anyone, or very few people liked him. And those who served time in jail and stuff with Fred after he was arrested said he was nobody. You could almost not even know he was there in the room with you. A lot of people had no real care if he was there, or they didn't dislike him. But those that did know he was there, those are the ones who really didn't like him. But most people are like, whatever. They didn't care. All right, bonus question. Fred West died alone, but his crimes live on in the internet world. Fred died in H.M. Prison, Birmingham, England, by his own hands. Where did he want to be buried or have his ashes stored? Was it A, in a box with Rosemary, B, in Northam, anywhere in Northam, or B, in a park in Yorkshire, or D, in a park in is that pronounced Devon or Devon? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Devon? Go Greyhounds, save a hooker. That's how they met. She didn't like him at first. Well, I wouldn't like him either. What did Fred want done with his body after he died? Meep is going with A. In a box with Rosemary. Sal as well. In a garbage dump. E. In a van down by the river. Motivational. You're going to live in a van down by the river. Chris Farley, Saturday Night Live. Hughes is going with D. Janice A. He does seem to have the personality of a used condom. Devon. I live there. Plymouth, UK. Ah, okay. Purple is going with A. In a box with Rosemary. Tammy is going with A as well. Where did he want to be buried or have his ashes stored? Take to the river, drop me in the water. Devon. Rupo popped in. I hope you're doing well, Rupo. Talking Heads Sublime. I'll check out your channel. There could be more of us. The JDR is going with D. Lori Sutton is going with B. I'm lying, talking heads up right now. No kidding. Lining up talking heads. Burning down the house. Up a mountain lion's colon. Just come up with some interesting, options. E. Chad's backyard. Oh, wow. Oh. Rest in peace, Kylie and JJ. Rest in peace. Bloody F, Facebook. Disclaimer, I was born in Liverpool, lived in Devon since 1985. Ah. A pet cemetery. All right. Bonus question. The correct answer is D, as in dog. He wanted his ashes cremated or whatever done with him, but he wanted to be buried or discarded in a park in North Devon. Don't know where, but that's what he wanted. Now, that was well before he killed himself. He had talked about his death and what he wanted to happen with him. And apparently there's some kind of connection, to the park that he had. Don't know what it is. I couldn't find that information out. My sister knows a woman who knew the Talking Heads before they made it and used to watch them. That's cool. So how did you do tonight? 12? Did you get 12 to 15 correct? 8 to 11, 4, 7, 1 to 3. Add 1 point for the bonus question if you got that correct. Or E, a mountain lion riding in a Yugo while smoking meth. My nursing instructor was John Lennon's aunt's nurse. It's where he never left his underwear. Oh, what's this? Hey, what was the sentence for that UY or a couple of something attic guy watched the whole case? Don't remember. Do not remember. I flunked. Now, bear with me for a minute here. I'm still trying to figure out how to eat by vultures. I'm trying to figure out how to get back from the to the full screen here. They move they so right now I use Restream and they changed all the icons and where everything is on the screen. And then some tabs have 2 or 3 things that are drop down menus from them. So everything is new to me and I'm forcing myself to actually use this. So for the longest time, I've been having to use 2 different monitors. The questions, on one and then screen share between the 2 monitors. But now everything can be integrated into one. Replace. No, I don't want to replace it with something else. Well, that gets rid of it. Cancel that. Oh. I don't want that. Although it is kind of neat. So you used to have like right in the middle here, you used to have an exit drop down and you can close and open it. How do I get back to the original full screen? That's not it. I figured it out. Oh, for the longest time. Longest time. Ooh, for the longest time. Ooh, for the longest time. Well, you could do one of the West Memphis 3. Pretty interesting case. I'll write it down, Sal. West Memphis 3. So I have a list that I printed out. I used to keep them all on sticky notes, but I ran out of sticky notes. I don't have that anything like I have Patty Moriarty, Robert Hansen, Kermit Gosnell, JDR suggested the entertainment business. Louis Lepec Butcher, Diana Downs, Bella Guinness. Vandersloot is a suggestion tonight. But some of these I'm working on. It takes a while to actually come up with questions that are new, and interesting that Yeah, I can't get into. I don't want to get into too far the graphics, nature of some of the crimes that these people have done and the things that they've done to people. I have to realize that the even as graphic as some of the questions were here tonight, I have to make this for more all audiences, not just select a few. I don't need people having nightmares over what they learned or what they saw on my trivia night. Hey, all, nice chat. Have a great week. Winks. Take good care. Tammy, you taking off? All right, gotta go put the masters out. All right, Tammy, you have a wonderful week ahead. Stay safe out there. Janice, if you're taking off, you as well. Have a wonderful week ahead. Captions. And where's the scroll? I can replace the scroll with subscribe. Unfortunately, though, I haven't figured out how to make that a clickable link yet. Because there's like all these different donate, like the QR codes and stuff like that I can put in here. I mean, you can even with one of the new options, you can even buy a cup of coffee for for the person who's putting together the presentation tonight, or you can go to my merch store. Not that there's anything really in there, but see, that's what I'm talking about. That's my merch store items. There's supposed to be a picture right here. I don't know if you can see it to the left of that QR code, but I don't know how to set any of that stuff up yet. I'm still working on it. Have your son help you, right? Meep. My son could probably, he could, show me how to do it right away, and figure this stuff out. But he doesn't do streaming. He does video editing. Every once in a blue moon, if he has gotten online and he has started live streaming. Well, we're not watching from either he's using my wife's phone, or he just logs on and starts streaming. And we don't need that. Not yet. He is very smart, Meep. Very smart. I'll figure this all out. I mean, I've only been dealing with this for 5 days now, where they're giving me a sneak preview of what the new dashboard is going to look like. It's the beta version of it. But at the end of July, they're getting rid of completely getting rid of the old dashboard and the old layout, and they're moving to this new one. So I figure, might as well force myself to learn how to use it, as opposed to, just waiting until it, hey, here it is, deal with it. I can go back to the old version, if I want right now, but I really do like the new layout and the new features. Will I am to you? David Burns Talking Heads come to my house. All right. Oh, I have a message. Let me see. I mean, obviously I can't play it, but Rupal, David Burns, Talking Heads. I have your message, Rupal. Thank you. And while I have your ear here, Rupal, I saw something that that you posted on Facebook about it was a purse from the Smiths. I believe it was the Smiths. That's a pretty cool purse. I showed that to my daughter, and she's like, "Yeah, where can you get one of those?" She thought that was a really cool purse too. Play it? I can't. It copyright strike, and then I'd have to take it down and scroll up for previous reply. The Smiths, yeah. Y'all stay safe out there. Never know who's standing next to you. And yeah, by the way, I can't put that up there. That tip off everybody to what next week's trivia is all about. I thought I put you purple in this one, but it's actually in next week's. They're ditching us, Will. It's all right. Thanks for the idea and name change. I'll be in touch. You do, Jay Hughes, and I hope you have a wonderful week if you're taking off. Link's foot. Stay positive, okay? You got it. Well, I'm not into handbags, but was great. Yeah, my daughter only, she doesn't buy a whole bunch of them. She has, I think, maybe two or three, but she still thinks it's a pretty cool bag, and she was wondering where she could get one. I said, I don't know. Rupel doesn't live nearby. Probably somebody who posted it and she just shared it. You got it, Toyota. Miss K, I love handbags. Take care of the road. Also, as Andy Rourke said, bass player of the Smith, also Marcy's birthday is too short. Shortly after. Yeah, Andy Rourke died. That is true. It's sad. Love a nice handbag. Says meep. Meep, meep. And shoes. I can't get this thing off the screen now. I can't. So that's the thing is I have to figure this stuff out. Because it's supposed to have a picture next to that thing. I mean, are you supposed to put your phone up to the screen and like scan that thing? I guess. I don't know. That'll take you to the merch store. I think there's only like 3 items in there. But I've sold over. I can't remember how many mugs. I mean, the mugs themselves. This is like the 3rd version of the mug that I've put out for the channel for now. I have to be well over 10,000, 11,000 mugs I've sold. I've sold an awful lot of them. The first version of the mug was white, and it had a hand on it with a finger point, and it says "You stay safe out there." But I can't get that style of mug anymore. Now that the new ones that are they're close, but they're not the same style. They don't even sell that mug anymore, or make it. It's not an option. Gotta run. Meet music. UK time constraints. Keep being kind to each other. It's so important. And the Smiths rule. Thank you, Meet Music. You stay safe out there as well, my friend. And we will hope to see you next Sunday or Saturday morning. Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here in the United States. And Sunday at 4 p.m. we do the trivia again every Sunday. Will, Lori Daybell, life in prison then? Now, Chad? Lori Daybell's sentencing will be in 3 months. And she will most likely, receive life without the possibility of parole. Will she, and as soon as the sentencing for her conviction in Idaho is done, an extradition warrant has already been signed and delivered in Idaho. Where is she at? She is in Madison County Jail. Madison County already has the extradition warrant for her to go back to Arizona, and where once the sentencing is done, Lori Vallow will be extradited back to Arizona to face charges related to her former husband, Chad Vallow's murder and the attempted shooting of her niece's former husband, Brandon Brudeau. So she's going back to Arizona. Now, Arizona has the death penalty. If convicted of the two charges in Arizona, will she get the death penalty? No, unless they can prove extenuating circumstances or that they prove that Alex Cox killed Charles and it was a murder for hire. If they can prove that extenuating circumstances, grave indifference, they have to prove that in order to bring the death penalty into question in Arizona. But I don't know why if she gets life without possibility of parole in Idaho, and they convict her there, where would the state of Idaho say, look, if she's convicted there, you guys can keep her, and we'll just have that on the back burner in case like she wins an appeal. Right now, she's asking for a whole new trial in Idaho. This is not her appeal. She's asking through her attorneys. She's asking for the conviction and everything to be thrown out and start all over again. Will she get it? I would put it at less than 5% chance, probably closer to 1%, that she has any chance at that at all. But she has the right, and through her attorneys, to ask for it at this point because of how the Judge Boyce instructed and gave the instructions to the jury before deliberations, along with some technicality about how what is a conspiracy was a conspiracy supposed to be only with her and 5 people, and is that what the jury understood, or is the conspiracy her and 2 people or just one other person? Yeah, it's all hogwash. Yes, the Smiths rules. Morrissey lives in America as I should be, as I should be. Me and Morrissey and the Smiths are very similar. I love the Smiths as well. I wish I could have stopped and say hi when I passed by your home, Will, but I was very tight driving schedule. I'm in Longmont, Colorado tonight. Oh, that's all right, Reichart. When you probably went by, I was probably busy anyways. One of these days, it would be nice to meet up with not only you but several others who are on here. We got a lot of. I would love to do something like that, especially I've met some fans here and there at the grocery store and stuff like that, just chance encounters with people. But I would love to to be able to do something like that, like a meet and greet, sit down, have a cup of coffee with people. Whatever evil she was dabbling in turned her into a hag at the end. It's our neighbors. Home of the mountain lion. Uh-oh. My sister lives in mountain lion territory. They live in a very rural part just outside of Denver. And she said that in the entire time that they've lived there on their property, they've seen maybe 1 or 2 mountain lions. They see a lot more lynxes and bobcats than they do mountain lions in their area. A lot of deer, smaller creatures, rabbits, stuff like that. But I'm defo going to pop into Wisconsin and see you, Will. Wouldn't that be fun? You have a great weekend ahead. Thank you, Sal. You have a terrific week as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for being here for trivia night. Don't forget, Monday morning, I post a new trivia question to the YouTube community tab, page on YouTube. Go to my channel to the front page, and you'll see the in the middle, there's a community. You can click on that, and that brings up all my community posts. But I'll have a trivia question there early tomorrow morning, and that gives you an idea of what next week's trivia is all about. But you can, as soon as you read the question and click on the answer that you think that it might be, or know what the answer is, it'll tell you if you're correct, and it'll give you a percentage of how many people have clicked on it already and have answered it correctly or incorrectly. It gives you the percentage, like 25% it said this, and it's wrong. But every Monday morning in advance. And Barry Morphew is also there. That is true. My sister hated all that, that attention that was brought to the area. My sister works for the Department of Transportation in Colorado. So if there's something wrong with the roads in Colorado, Reichardt, you let me know. I'll make sure that I send a message to my sister and have her, look into it. Barry is going to say, where is his semi truck at? A mountain lion must have eaten him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again, and you all have a terrific week ahead. And I appreciate everyone being here. Never seen your community page. It's right there. I post a picture of it right now if I could, but I can't figure out how to get out of this dashboard that I'm stuck in right now. I can't even get rid of that stupid thing in the middle that says merch store items. I'll figure it out though. Just bear with me over the course of the next week. Well, I met an ex-veteran services man from Ohio today, and before was great. He talked about Wisconsin, etc. That's cool. That's cool, Rupel. Must have been on vacation or something in over there where you are, huh? Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. I will see you all again soon. Have a good one. You told them about me? That's cool. Ripple, thank you.